Fender Japan's got a cool new color set for us. Welcome back, troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. If you're a longtime watcher of the show, you know I love Fender Japan because they do a whole bunch of weird, wacky stuff. But as compared to what I normally review and demo out of them, this one just has a cool special color, and it's part of the Made in Japan 60s Traditional series, meaning it's trying to give you 60s Fender specs, but on a slight budget without having to go full-on custom shop. So let's go ahead and check this Stratocaster out, because I think a lot of viewers are going to like this cool 60s custom color. Look at that. This is what is known as Sherwood Green, and it's actually an aged finish, which means it has a little bit of a yellow tint to it, so it gets you the hue that everybody's after. This was a guitar that somebody used my forwarding service to help get to them in the USA. So thank you to that viewer for allowing me to review this guitar before we send it on to them. But first impressions here, I really like this color matched with the mint green pickguard. Sometimes that looks a little bit off, not being necessarily a big Fender historian buff, but that definitely works for this color scheme in my opinion. And the other thing is this is a full-on gloss finish, top, back, including the neck, so it's very vintage accurate as far as that is concerned. I like that wood grain circle around our serial number too, that's kind of funny. And the sticker we've got over here on the pickguard looks very similar to like the American Professional series. So I think something similar to that, but made in Japan and built to slightly different specs. But within the Made in Japan Traditional 60 set, they did a P-Bass, Stratocaster, and Telecasters in this aged Sherwood Green metallic finish, and they also offered them in Dakota Red. Now there's other models within the 60s Traditional series, like a Jazzmaster and a Jaguar. They've got competition stripes that just recently came out. There's also an all-black version of a Strat and Tele that have the matching headstock. But as far as those limited edition colors, it's just the P-Bass, Stratocaster, and Tele. And the price points vary depending on body style, but for example, this Sherwood Stratocaster is 132,000 yen. But that's before import duties, taxes, shipping, all that other good stuff. As is typical Fender Japan fashion, it comes with a gig bag. Nothing too fantastic, it's basically just a dust cover with maybe an 1/8 inch of foam, but it does have a zippered pouch, which gives you your warranty information and your tremolo bar. So besides the limited edition finish here, there's not too many other crazy specs outside of trying to stylize it after a 60s Fender. And to learn more about those specs, it's time to throw it on that workbench. Inside our little green friend here, let's see what's going on. So it's routed just for single coil, so if you wanted to buy one of these to modify it to have a humbucker, nope. Unless you're okay with routing it out. But the routes actually appear to be pretty darn clean for one of these. And this has the vintage style truss rod adjustment, meaning you either need a special tool to get it in there or you need to slightly loosen the neck to adjust it. These pickups are called vintage style single coil Stratocaster pickups. Not really the fanciest name, but you know, it is what it is. We'll have to see how they sound. Something to note about the pickups though is they have extremely staggered pull pieces. And within the circuit they read 6.17 in the bridge, middle position for fun 6.28, and the neck is at 6.18. And then in your in-between positions, neck and middle 3.15, bridge and middle 3.14. But we've got 250K CTS pots in here, so even if you don't like the pickups, you won't have to adjust anything with your pots. That's all high quality. And for curious people out here, here's what the output jack route looks like. And it is a switchcraft jack. As far as the trem system and bridge, it's pretty standard. Just your 6 Fender saddles, a screw-in bar. As far as your actual controls go, it's a master volume for all of them, and then this is a neck tone and a middle tone. The bridge pickup does not have a tone, which is a vintage spec. But this is a basswood body. Pretty basic Strat, just a cool color. Being a metallic finish, sometimes it appears a little bit darker and lighter in certain lighting angles. But it's not like over in your face sparkle top. And the chrome is a nice accent piece on it as well. But what I really like here is how streaky the rosewood fretboard is. It's got a lot of nice red hues within it all up and down. That is a perfect match for a green guitar. But we've got 21 vintage style frets with a 25.5 inch scale length, with a bone nut that measures 1.63 inches. That increases to 2.02 by the 12th. First fret neck depth 0.89 and 0.91 by the 12th. They call this a U-shaped neck, which it basically just feels like a C-shaped neck, except for it's a little bit flatter on the back and it's got a bit more shoulder to it, but not as extreme as a D shape. Here's that profile on the contour gauge, 1st fret and 12th fret. You can see what I'm talking about there with the flatness at the back. But I was telling you how I like the wood grain around the serial number earlier. Look what you got up here by the string tree. Kind of looks like a big fish. That's like a giant eye. Another interesting wood grain thing that you'll notice is you've got a couple of mineral streak lines and specks right here, but there's an extreme one right here by the A string tuner. Gives it an evil vibe. Then you've got your Fender Stratocaster decal and your vintage style poke it around, wrap it around tuners. Moving on to the backside, we have our tremolo route that we can look at. Here's how it comes stock from the factory with 3 springs. It is a non-magnetic material, if that means something to you. And we've just got that nice comfort carve back here with a strap button on the top horn and at the bottom. And I kind of find this interesting that they didn't heavily tint the neck despite calling it an aged finish. However, the whole slightly tinted maple works pretty good with this finish, I think. Very foresty vibes. But our serial number dates this one to 2022, made in Japan. And we've got those vintage style Glusen tuners back here. All said and done, this one weighs 7 pounds, 6.5 ounces. Let's go ahead, plug it in, and hear how it sounds. Right, sounds like a Stratocaster to me. Great neck pickup, middle position. Bridge. And your in-betweens. Let's try some dirt. Like that neck pickup, that's got some interesting vibes to it. Bridge is a bit thin. All said and done, what are my final thoughts on the Sherwood Green Metallic Stratocaster? I guess if you're just looking for a basic Stratocaster that has some nice 60s specs thrown onto it, you're probably going to enjoy this. I really enjoyed that neck pickup. That's got a lot of fun tones going on for it, but there's definitely no reason to ever have to replace these pickups. They might not have a fancy name or a fancy looking back, but they are definitely quality Stratocaster pickups in my opinion. Now, is it worth the price to import one of these? I think it's only if you really want this custom color, but I hope you enjoyed watching the review and demo of this guitar anyways. Alright, Troglodytes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.